fans, Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We are here to have a great time today. You're watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, inviting you inside the FanDuel Sportsbook here at the Meadowlands. It is Week 17, and there are some great matchups ahead of us that have huge playoff implications here, and you know what we do. We bet them. Our NFL experts are breaking down the biggest games of the week, handing out best bets here, and giving you our best value DFS plays of the week as well. It is go time, so make sure you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for your new account, plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. All right, time to kick this thing off with the 10-5 Cardinals headed to Dallas to take on the 11-4 Cowboys. Guys, both teams here have clinched a playoff spot, but when you look at recency here, headed in opposite directions, right? How about them Cowboys have won their fourth in a row, dominating Washington 56-14 on Sunday Night Football, and then there's Arizona, has lost 3 straight by an average of more than 10 points per game. Playoff seeding is on the line here. The Cowboys are giving 5. Got to get to Los Angeles and get to my guys, Dave and Ed. You guys, Happy New Year to you both. Let's bet this game. Dave, who do you like here?
Happy New Year. This line seems very high to me. Okay, congratulations. You thumped Washington, the New York Giants, teams like the Saints, but the Cowboys against good teams aren't as good. And, when you look at the last 17 games, 5-12 against the spread, against teams with a winning record. Arizona, keep in mind, has won 7 games this year on the road. Yes, they did lose to Detroit after having a 7-game road winning streak. But last year, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys by 28 points, and they rushed for 261 yards on the ground. So whether it be Connor, whether it be Edmonds, we know Murray can run really well. I think they're going to get the job done on the ground. I like Arizona.
Was Dak Prescott even playing in that game last season?
I'll look it up for you.
I think that does matter in the grand scheme of things, who's at quarterback for the Cowboys, and it is going to be Dak Prescott.
They scored 38 against their defense.
And Dak Prescott is going to play in this game, and that matters a lot in this one, especially at home. This matters a lot because, on the other hand, can Arizona keep up with this high-flying Cowboys offense? Well, I'm not sure they can at this point, in large part because DeAndre Hopkins is not there, and that has been a huge absence. And this is one of the mistakes that I made in last week's analysis for Arizona and Indianapolis, was that DeAndre Hopkins, he may not have the air yards like the other guys have, but his weighted opportunity is really, really high. And Kyler Murray's completion percentage over expected when DeAndre Hopkins is not on the field goes from 6.9% to negative 3.1%. This has been a humongous absence. This offense has not been the same over the last few weeks, and they're not the same as they were before. The Cardinals cannot keep up with the Cowboys. I think Dallas covers the spread.
Don't tell Cole Wright that.
We'll bring in Cole Wright right now. And by the way, Dallas is 12-3 against the spread this season. The total has hit the under in 7 of the Cowboys' last 9 games here. And let's keep this thing rolling on this matchup. Time now for the right take with our NFL expert Cole Wright joining us from Chicago. Cole, what is your take on this matchup? I know you heard the guys right there.
Absolutely. And they know how I feel about the Arizona Cardinals, but this Cowboys team, despite a few missteps along the way, they're a scary bunch right about now. Like you said, they've rattled off wins in 4 straight games. Plus, they had the league's #1 overall offense. All you have to do is ask the Washington football team after that 50-burger. Now, the Dallas defense, as good as they've been right now, still not a top 15 unit. They're 19th overall, but then there's Arizona. As everyone touched on, they've lost a little luster over the last few weeks, but we do still know one thing, that they're top 10 offensively and defensively. And Kyler Murray said there's not a problem with this team right now. All everyone needs to do is just play better. So I trust in Kyler Murray, as I have all season long. They're going to win a close shave here, 21-20.
Yeah, just play better. Do better, guys. If you roll with the Cowboys in this one and give the points, a winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $95. Again, that's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use that promo code MOREWAYS1000. And speaking of teams that are hot right now, let's get to this huge AFC matchup between the 11-4 Chiefs and the 9-6 Bengals. KC has won 8 in a row. That is the longest active streak in the NFL, and they're the only team in the AFC that has clinched a playoff spot. Now, Cincinnati can clinch the AFC North for the first time since 2015 with a win on Sunday. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow coming off a hell of a game, right? You saw that, threw for 525 yards, 4th most in NFL history. He also had 4 touchdowns to go with that. But here we are in Week 17. The Bengals are 5.5-point home underdogs with the Chiefs in town. Pony, love this AFC matchup. Which side are you backing here?
Yeah, I'm selling Chiefs stock. I'm fading them in this game. I know that they've won 8 in a row. They're the hottest team in the NFL, as you alluded to, and they're going to get Travis Kelce back. But to me, their defense is overrated. It's 21st in total defense. They've been able to make do with turnovers and red zone stops. I think that stops that magic against Cincinnati. The 2 1,000-yard receivers, that line is just too big, Dave. 5.5 for the Bengals at home. I'm taking them.
There was once a guy on this show that told me every time the Bengals beat a division opponent, they come back the next week and get smoked. That was you, Pony. You forgot your own angle in this game. The last time that the Bengals blew out the Ravens, they came back and lost to the Jets. Now we got the Chiefs, who really have something to still play for here because they're playing for home field advantage throughout. You forgot your own betting angle. I cannot believe it, Pony. The Bengals get crushed in this game.
All right, you guys, let's go a bit deeper on these Chiefs and Bengals, and I'm all about tailing Dave right there, by the way. And for that, we're going to dig in here, a little next-gen stat action here to get an analytical perspective on this matchup for us. Now, as we know by now, the NFL analyzes the location, speed, and acceleration of every player on every single play, creates these various data sets that we get to tap into here. A little next-level info from our analytics guys. We bring in Ed. Ed, give us a next-gen stat that you're using to pick this Kansas City-Cincinnati game.
Guess what, Lisa? There are only 4 quarterbacks with a positive completion percentage over expected at every level of the field, and Pat Mahomes is not one of them. But you know who is? Joe Burrow. Here is his pass chart from last week's transcendent performance. 525 passing yards with a completion percentage over expected of 11.5%, the best mark of the week. You see a lot of short, intermediate, and a few deep throws. The versatility is what you want in a quarterback, not to mention his receivers were open more than 56% of the time. And this is more of a thing of mine. It is obnoxious when a quarterback throws short of the 6 on 3rd down. The point is to move the chains. Well, Burrow threw short on 3rd down only 25% of the time. That is the best mark of the week. The Bengals are one of the few offenses that can go score for score with the Chiefs when they are playing at the peak of their powers. I will take Cincy to cover.
Okay, awesome stuff, Ed. And there's more from Ed coming up here on these next-gen stats. If you want to fade Ed, though, we know you got it. You do you. You like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs giving those points. A winning $50 bet means you're going to collect more than $95. And a reminder right here, you can make your first bet on the app risk-free. Just sign up for a new FanDuel Sportsbook account using the promo code right there on your screen. It's MoreWays1000. You'll get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, that promo code MoreWays1000. Time now for our DFS download, stacking your roster to help you win cash. Yes, FanDuel is hooking up our fans with millions in prizes for free. We do it every single week. Here we are in week 17. Rock and roll. Just head to FanDuel.com. Sign up for the weekly DFS contest right now. Get your friends, your fam, your coworkers. Compete each week for free. Just sign up, set your roster, play, and win. And, of course, our job is to help you score points. So here are more ways to win. We turn to senior writer and editor for NumberFire.com, Jim Sonis. Got to give Jim props, by the way. He had the Bengals wideout T. Higgins as his best value play last week. Higgins absolutely balled out. 12 catches, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, Jim, no pressure, but who are your best value plays for Week 17?
Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, setting the bar pretty high here, but I do think there are good values on tap once again in Week 17, starting off at tight end with Zach Ertz, $5,500 in one of this week's big shootouts versus the Cowboys. Ertz has a 27% target share in 2 games post DeAndre Hopkins. He's getting some downfield work. It's a good offense. I'll take that all day. Other side of that game, we get Michael Gallup at $5,800, and Gallup doesn't have the same target share as Ertz, but he gets a lot of downfield work. And in a game that could be as high scoring as this one, being played indoors with 2 good quarterbacks, I want guys who get work down the field. Gallup gets that, and I think he does grade out well, even if the floor may not be all that great. Finally, heading to running back, I like Darrell Williams this week under the expectation that Clyde Edwards-Helaire cannot go for the Chiefs due to his shoulder injury. In games without CEH so far this year, Williams has averaged 95 yards from scrimmage per game, a very good number, facing off with a Bengals defense that funnels targets to running backs and tight ends. That should bode well for him, even if he does lose some work to Derek Gore, who has had some splash plays over the past month. So Darrell Williams, $6,200 in a good spot here, and I think overall, the value for Week 17 shaping up to be another good one, just like Week 16.
I think the value right there is in Jim's bar behind him. Thank you, Jim. Cheers, man. Cheers, and Happy New Year to you and your family. There you have it. Go to FanDuel.com. Sign up for free DFS competitions right now and each week of this NFL season. Use Jim's info for a chance to win millions in prizes. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Sonis, and hit up his podcast as well, the Heat Check Fantasy Podcast on Apple Podcasts. All right, back to our game previews now. And the 11-4 Rams are in Baltimore, taking on the 8-7 Ravens. They will be tasked with stopping wide receiver for the Rams, Cooper Kupp, who's having an epic season, averaging nearly 116 yards per game, leads the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. No receiver, by the way, has finished the season at the top of those three categories since Steve Smith did it back in 2005 when he was with the Panthers. Then you look at the Ravens, the other side. They've lost 4 in a row. They're hoping to get Lamar Jackson back here. The quarterback sprained his ankle in Week 14 game against Cleveland. He has not played since. Baltimore is getting 4 points at home. Pony, give me your pick here. Which side are you backing?
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore. I'd be okay with Huntley if he has to start. You know, the line here is very odd looking to me because of what you said, Lisa. The Rams having won 4 in a row, the Ravens having lost 4. It's like the odds makers want to throw out last week's loss by the Ravens to Cincinnati because of their quarterback issues with Josh Johnson in there. So I think there's a stick-to-itiveness to Baltimore. This is for their playoff lives. It's at home. You know, they almost beat Green Bay at home with Huntley a couple of weeks ago. So that line being 4, I think it's a field goal game or less. So take the Ravens.
Well, Pony, remember when the Ravens looked a whole lot like Super Bowl contenders? Well, a lot has certainly changed since Week 7. Since then, just 3 wins, all versus team with lackluster records. Minnesota, Chicago, and Cleveland. And the Ravens, they haven't really had the answers. And now, like Lisa said, they're mired in that 4-game frigid streak. Now, on the complete other side of the fence, there's the Rams. The Rams, they've gained a lot of steam. Like you said, wins in their last 4 straight games. And since then, well, they're averaging just a shade under 30 points per game. And Matt Stafford, that guy right there is the cat's pajamas. He's the fastest quarterback to rack up 50,000 passing yards in the history of the National Football League. So something tells me he's going to pick on that Baltimore pass defense early and often. I think you can put all your chips on the Rams here. 28-17, they make this look easy.
You did not sneak cat's pajamas by me. I got you. Hey, guys, let's get to prime time now and start with the Sunday Night Football matchup featuring an AFC North rivalry here. We got the 7-8 Vikings at the 12-3 Packers. Minnesota on that playoff bubble, but actually beat the Packers 34-31 on a walk-off field goal. That one back in Week 11. Since that loss, Green Bay has won 4 in a row. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers has thrown 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, leading the Packers to that #1 overall seed. Now, Green Bay giving 6.5 to Minnesota this week. We got to bet it. Ed, I'm coming to you for that. The forecast calling for frigid temperatures, dipping down to just 5 degrees at kickoff. Which side are you backing in this matchup?
That sounds like a lot of fun, Lisa. We should all make a road trip out there. Here's the deal with first off, the cold is going to be cold, that's fine, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be too windy, so I'm not thinking too much about that. But this is a tough season in general to bet games on, in large part because you don't always know who's going to play and who isn't going to play. So what I want to do for this exercise is look at the 2 top receivers in this game, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and figure out, okay, if they are off the field for any stretch of time, how will these passing attacks work? Well, the Vikings without Justin Jefferson, EPA per dropback plummets to nothing. Yards per attempt plummets to 4.8 yards. Passer rating, though, pretty good, 114.4. Packers without Devontae Adams, EPA per dropback, 0.07. Not great, but certainly better than the Vikings. Yards per attempt, 6 yards. Okay, passer rating, though, that's a big question mark. And so, yeah, the Packers are better equipped to handle not having certain key guys, The Vikings, without Justin Jefferson, they will probably struggle in this one. And so for that reason, in terms of volatility, I'm going to take the Packers.
Well, first of all, sign me up for my first trip to Lambeau. That would be a blast. I don't care if it's negative 20. I'll go weather-wise. But as far as betting this game, keep an eye on Dalvin Cook. He missed last week. If he plays here, the last 2 times he came back after not playing in a game, he went off 205 yards and 140 yards. So he'll be very good fresh, assuming he goes. They'll run the ball a lot. They'll keep Rodgers off the field, eat some clock, and I think keep this as a tight, low-scoring game. So I'm going to take the other side of that one, Lisa, and I'm going to take the Vikings.
Now let's get to those bright lights on Monday night. The 7-8 Browns in Pittsburgh taking on the 7-1 Steelers. This is a huge rivalry game with major playoff implications, so I love that it comes down to this. The loser is officially eliminated from playoff contention. The Browns are coming off that close 2-point loss in Green Bay. Steelers coming off an embarrassing loss in Kansas City, falling behind 32-0 in that third quarter. Pittsburgh, a 3.5-point home dog in this matchup. Pony, you're the sports radio voice there in Pittsburgh. You know I'm coming to you. Do you like the Steelers in this spot?
Yeah, don't even take the points. Just take the plus 150. They're not going to lose at home to the Browns in what will be Ben Roethlisberger's final home game in his entire decorated career. He's only lost 1 time at Heinz Field to the Cleveland Browns. It's not going to happen again, given the way Baker Mayfield is playing. I'm not saying Ben's going to go out on top, Dave. There might not be a ride-off into the sunset, but he's not going to go out like a chump against the Browns and have their playoff hopes blow up in his face. They're going to win this game outright.
I'm with you. I totally saw this coming last week. I predicted that the Chiefs would be up big at halftime. Ben would pack it in, recharge his batteries, and make one final push to take a winning bow to the terrible towels. There's my Pittsburgh accent for you, Pony. And I think that Ben will do what you said he's going to do. He's beaten the Browns 25 times. That's more than any team that he's ever beaten. Mike Tomlin, by the way, has never had a losing record as the head coach of the Steelers. With the win here, he ensures that that's not going to happen either, and he'll get at least a 500 record because they had that tie. I'm with you. Money line, money maker from both me and Pony.
Now, Ed, you used Next Gen Stats to pick the Chiefs-Bengals game earlier in the show. Now I want you to give us 3 bets based on that next level data that you think are really good value right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app for Week 17. What stands out to you here?
Well, Lisa, you have to lay a ton of points to side with the Patriots against the Jaguars, and I have no problem with that. Here is Duval quarterback Trevor Lawrence's grid for the season. Red means his passer rating is at that part of the field is lower than league average. His completion percentage over expected is -4%. His average depth of target is only 7.2 yards. That's not throwing deep that often. His success rate throwing is worse than 50%, and his receivers are open less than 50% of the time. Urban Meyer wasn't the only problem in Jacksonville, and Bill Belichick has a knack of dominating rookie quarterbacks, so the Patriots are covering. Next, much as we ballyhooed about Derrick Henry's absence, injuries at wide receiver have also been devastating for the Titans. Well, getting A.J. Brown back has been huge. Here is his route chart from last week. He was a busy guy using different parts of the field. Completion rate over expected was one of the top marks of Week 16, 11.4%. His yards after catch over expected was 5. His target rate was greater than 50%. Tennessee absolutely missed him. The Titans do have a significant rest advantage in this one. The better pass defense when filtering out takeaways and other volatile things, so I'm going to lay the points. Finally, the one proven commodity for the Saints offense Monday night may have been Alvin Kamara in the ground game, but even they couldn't perform against Miami. Here is his carry chart. Not too many green runs for chunks of yardage. Rushing yards over expected, -15, one of the lower marks of the week. His success rate overall was 23.1%. If you're less than 30%, you're having a bad day. And first downs over expected, -1. He should have been moving the sticks more. Carolina certainly has its offensive woes lately, but so have the Saints since losing Jameis. To me, the spread is too big, so I'll take the Panthers.
Awesome stuff, Ed, as always. And now take that information, use it to place your bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You can place a wager on the bets we just talked about, the ones that Ed highlighted there for you, or hundreds of others. Just keep on scrolling. They're all available for you right now. All right, team, time to focus on our betting markets here and some more game previews. We're shouting out your local teams as we rip through more of the Week 17 slate. Let's roll. And here we go with our FanDuel Sportsbook Week 17 preview for the 8-7 Eagles at the 6-9 Washington football team. Special shout out for our viewers with us in Philly, by the way, watching on NBC Sports Philadelphia, and in Virginia, watching on NBC Sports Washington. Happy New Year to you all. We love having you with us. The Eagles have won 3 in a row, currently hold the final NFC playoff spot. Now Washington still mathematically alive to make the playoffs, but we'll need a lot of help here and a better performance, of course, than their ugly 56-14 loss at Dallas on Monday Night Football. Dave Weaver, the Eagles are 3.5-point road favorites in this one. How are you playing it?
Well, all those viewers you just mentioned were watching very closely 2 weeks ago when the Eagles beat the football team pretty comfortably by 10 points. But remember, there were some serious COVID issues going on with Washington that week. They were missing their starting quarterback. Garrett Gilbert had to start, and they were missing a big chunk of their defense. So I think this is an overreaction to that victory, and I think Washington bounces back here and gets the job done.
Got a special shout out for our viewers in the New York area hanging with us on MSG, and those of you watching in Chicago on NBC Sports Chicago. Happy New Year to you as well. The 5-10 Bears hosting the 4-11 Giants. Giants have lost 4 in a row. Bears ended a 3-game losing streak with that 1-point win in Seattle last week. Cool, right? You're in Chicago. Got to come to you for this one. What do you think about the Bears giving 5.5 in this matchup?
Well, Lisa, it's the home finale versus a team tied for the 3rd worst record in the league. And Robert Quinn right now knocking on the door of history, trying to surpass Richard Dent for that all-time franchise sack record at 17.5. We're going to see him more than likely go out there and get that. I'm saying bear down in this one. Chicago makes it back-to-back, 24-14.
And hey, special shout out for our viewers in Colorado watching with us on altitude. We're breaking down the Broncos Week 17 matchup as we get into New Year's weekend. Your guys are in LA taking on the 8-7 Chargers here. Both teams fighting to get into the playoff race here. Broncos 7-8 have lost 2 in a row, scoring just 23 total points. More to be desired there, Andrew Filipponi. Denver getting 6. How do you play this one?
I like them a lot in this game, Lisa. Even with Drew Lock likely starting at quarterback, it's a good matchup. Back in November, the Broncos beat the Chargers straight up, and it's the run game. You've got Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon against the 29th run defense in the NFL. I'm riding with the Broncos.
All right, New York, this one is for you. Our FanDuel Sportsbook Week 17 breaking down your Jets here. And shout out to all of you watching with us on MSG. Always love having you with us. Gang Green coming off a 26-21 win last week against Jacksonville. Happy New Year indeed. This week, they have a much tougher opponent right here at the Meadowlands. The 11-4 Tampa Bay Bucks. Ed Egros, Jets are getting 12.5 points at home. How do you play it?
I think the spread's a little bit too big here, and I can understand the rationale for backing the Bucks. You can say, well, the Jets' pass defense has been suspect. There are questions at wide receiver for New York. Well, think about it this way. Tampa Bay's offense, there are some question marks there as well. Chris Godwin's out. Mike Evans, there's a big question mark there. And when Tampa Bay doesn't have its full complement of receivers, they aren't necessarily playing at a high level consistently. Sometimes it's just not sustainable. Yeah, the Bucs came off of a big win against Carolina, but the Jets' running game is not too shabby here, and I'm expecting a backdoor cover for Gang Green.
And the Jets will be right here at the Meadowlands on Sunday, just across the parking lot from the FanDuel Sportsbook where I am standing right now, and I am inviting you here to join us. This is your personal invitation to join us here at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands as we give you a quick tour inside. There you go. You see it right there. Hey, check it out. 2 levels of bars and food, service, dozens of massive screens playing all the games, and you can bet your favorite teams, your favorite players right here. Free round-trip shuttle service from Lot G on game days. If you don't have a parking pass, It's all good. Head to Red's Restaurant in Carlstadt, New Jersey to catch that $10 shuttle to MetLife Stadium, and then you can catch your free round-trip ride right here to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Hey, FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. We're right here. Grab your friends, your family. Get here for an awesome time this Sunday or any day of the week. We are open 7 days a week. Time now to give some underdogs a little love. And Cole, you have been rocking these moneyline moneymakers all season long, so I'm dipping back in here, week 17. Give us a couple underdogs you think are going to win outright this week.
Well, first off, I want to apologize because last week I failed everybody across the board, but I'm going to continue to say this until I'm incorrect. The Los Angeles Chargers, well, they're the West Coast version of the Miami Dolphins every other year, except for this season because there's no 7-game winning streak here. So Denver, I think they're going to continue to surprise. They're going to make it 2 wins over the Bolts this year, 24-21. I'm like Pony. I'm rolling with the Broncos here. And then the Browns, well, they've been questionable over the last few. One thing we've seen from them is they can't close ball games out. 1-3 over their last 4, and all of those games decided by 6 points or less. So I see Pittsburgh winning at home here for Big Ben. You can give me the Steelers in a close one. Pony and I, we're walking hand in hand in lockstep. 20-17, I go with Pittsburgh.
It's a clean sweep on the Moneyline Moneymaker for Pittsburgh. Hey, guys, in addition to betting at the Sportsbook, you can also place your bets on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now and get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. All you got to do is sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account. You can do it right now. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 just by using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. And it gets better on this show because our experts give you their risk-free bet of the week. So, Dave, I'm coming right to you. Dave Weaver, kick us off with your $1,000 risk-free bet for Week 17. What is it?
I like that money line play on Pittsburgh so much. I'm using it in this 3-teamer, 2 totals, and then the Steelers to win the game. I think that the Falcons are not going to do much against Buffalo. They'll be able to slow that game down and it goes under. But on the other side, Denver and the Chargers, I think that game's going to sizzle. That's my 3-teamer. Gets me back about $9,000.
I am not positive about this Cardinals-Cowboys game being this high-scoring affair, in part because I'm not sure Arizona is going to do its part, and Dallas may try and slow down the tempo significantly. So I'm going to do an alternate total under 45.5, $1,000 risk-free bet from $27.50.
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of these interesting futures, which is the Vikings to make the playoffs as a wild card, which, put it this way, if they can beat Green Bay, which they've already done this year with Dalvin Cook back in the lineup, Philadelphia, they lose to Dallas, and the Vikings are in. They've got the tiebreaker, so $1,000 to collect $5,000. I think it's worth a shot, Lisa.
There it is, gamblers. Make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place your bets. Hey, they just told you where to put your money. Put in the promo code MOREWAYS1000. You're going to get that risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy, it's legal, it is live. Take your winnings if you hit, and just get your money back in site credit if you don't. It is the best mulligan in the business. All right, you guys, we've hit some spread and totals on this show. There are a bunch of other fun bets, though, on the FanDuel Sportsbook app that we want to feature right now. A wide variety of wagers that you can make. So, guys, let's focus on some of those. I'm going to give you the bet. You're going to give me your quick pick as we rip through this. And Dave, you're up first. There are a bunch of weekly specials listed on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Which one of these specials are you betting?
Yeah, the one that caught my eye was in the Steelers game and the Browns. These are 2 teams that just absolutely hate each other, so I'm expecting some sacks. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt to combine for at least 3. They should each get 1. Now I just need one guy to get another. If one guy gets skunked, they're both very capable of getting 3 on their own, so I like that bet.
All right, Pony, how about which quarterback will have the most regular season passing touchdowns? Tom Brady, the odds-on favorite here.
Well, I'm shopping for value again, and Josh Allen is only 3 back, and he closes the season with the Falcons at home and the Jets at home. There's potential for big numbers, so I love him at 12-1.
And some teams are looking ahead to the NFL draft, and there's already a bet on the board there for that. Which player will be the #1 overall pick?
So the worst teams here, they don't need a quarterback. And there's certainly the possibility of a team trading up to get the #1 spot, #2 spot, something like that. But the problem is this draft is bereft of quarterback talent. And so to me, it's going to be an edge guy. And I'm going with Kayvon Thibodeau. Yes, there are jockeying for positions here, but I think Thibodeau is going to be the guy.
I like that. Cole, coming to you. The NFC race heating up here with several teams getting hot at the right time. Which team will win the NFC Championship?
Well, the Arizona Cardinals, not as hot as those Oregon splatter paint uniforms, but they are a team that, well, they're looking to narrow their focus right about now. We told you a little bit earlier in the show, top 10 offensively and defensively, and despite, well, a little bit of sag right now in their ability to win ball games, I trust in Kyler Murray. I trust in the Arizona Cardinals, so I have to go with Cliff K and Arizona.
Look at you, Cole, staying strong. All right, you guys, weekly specials, future season specials. Those are just a few of the fun types of bets that you can make on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Download that app, log on, check them all out for yourself. Be sure to plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that $1,000 risk-free bet. We did the dang thing today. From game picks to best bets, futures, DFS, we covered it all. Week 17 is here, and you can bet it right now. FanDuel Sportsbook, More Ways 1000. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you next week.